The following Max Privacy Policy U.S. State Supplement can be found on the Max website at max.com/privacy/US rights/en-US. There will be a link below in the video's description. U.S. State Supplement. Last updated, January 1st, 2025. This U.S. State Supplement provides additional information for residents of California, Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, Iowa, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Oregon, Texas, Utah, and Virginia. If you are a resident of one of these states, you have certain rights as specified under state law, which you can exercise at our Privacy Center, linked at wbdprivacy.com. Our privacy policy, linked at max.com/privacy, details what information we collect about you, including information considered personal information or personal data under applicable privacy laws, the sources of that information, the purposes of use and disclosure, and the categories of third parties that may receive that information. If you are an adult using our services, please read this supplement in combination with our privacy policy, linked at max.com/privacy, for a complete understanding of how we collect, use, and share your personal information or personal data. If you are a child using our services, or a parent or guardian of such a child, please read this supplement in combination with our children's privacy policy, linked at max.com/privacy/children, which describes how we collect, use, and share personal information or personal data about children. We will use the term personal information below. Any capitalized terms not defined in this supplement are defined in the privacy policy, linked at max.com/privacy, or the children's privacy policy, linked at max.com/privacy/children, as applicable. Your rights. In accordance with applicable law, your rights as specified under state law may include the following. Right to delete your information. Upon your request, we will delete the personal information we have collected from you, subject to certain legally permissible exceptions. Right to know and access your personal information. You have the right to ask us to confirm whether we process your personal information, including, where required under applicable law, information about third parties to whom we disclose personal information, to provide more information about how we process and disclose personal information, and for a copy of the personal information we maintain about you. Right to correct inaccurate personal information. You have a right to request that we correct inaccurate personal information about you. We also encourage you to check the settings in our apps and websites. Some personal information can be directly changed or corrected by you. Right to opt out of the sale of your personal information. You can tell us not to sell your personal information according to applicable law. We do not sell personal information of individuals we know to be children as defined by applicable law. Right to limit use of your personal information for targeted advertising. You can ask us not to use or disclose your personal information for targeted advertising. Even if you opt out of targeted advertising, we will continue to collect and use data for other purposes. We do not use or disclose for targeted advertising for personal information of individuals we know to be children as defined by applicable law. You can tell us not to sell your personal information or limit the use of your personal information for targeted advertising by visiting our data sell and share opt-out page, linked at wbd-privacy.com/do-not-sell-or-share-request, or clicking the Do Not Sell or Share My Personal Information link in the footers of our websites or settings menus of our apps. Our services also respond to global privacy control signals where appropriate. We do not use or disclose personal information for profiling and furtherance of decisions that produce legal or similarly significant effects on you without either your explicit consent or where otherwise permitted by applicable law. How to exercise your rights. Visit our Privacy Center, linked at wbdprivacy.com, to exercise your rights specified under your state's laws. You can also contact us toll-free at 1-866-324-3637 or TTY. Use 711, and an agent will assist you with submitting a request. When you submit a request, we will usually ask you to provide an email address to verify your identity and prevent fraud. You may also designate an authorized agent to submit a request on your behalf. Depending on the nature of the request, we may authenticate the request, such as by requiring a signed written permission from you that authorizes the agent to act on your behalf. A valid power of attorney will constitute signed written permission, but you are not required to obtain a power of attorney to use an authorized agent. If you are the parent or guardian of a minor child, you may also submit a request on behalf of your child. In that event, we will ask you to provide your child's email address and to submit a signed form authorizing us to proceed with the request regarding your child's personal information. If we deny your request or cannot fulfill it, you may appeal our decision by contacting us via wbdprivacy@wbd.com to ask us to review your request again. Your email should include "appeal" in the subject line. You have the right not to receive discriminatory treatment if you exercise any of the rights explained in this U.S. state supplement. California. Below are several additional California-specific disclosures and metrics provided in accordance with California law. Categories of information. In the last 12 months, we collected the following categories of personal information. Personal and online identifiers, such as name, address, email address, online identifiers, IP address, account name, and similar identifiers. Commercial and transactions information, such as records of products or services you obtained or considered and other information about your purchasing or consuming histories or tendencies. Record-keeping information, such as financial information related to accounts you may have with us. Internet or other electronic network activity information, such as your searches on our services and information about your interactions with our services, including your interactions with contextual ads that may be shown on our services. Demographic information/characteristics such as your age or, if you provide it to us, your gender identity. Biometric information, if you choose to participate in one of our interactive research studies or other initiatives. Geolocation data, audio, electronic, visual, or similar information, such as photos, videos, and call recordings. Inferences drawn from the above information about your predicted characteristics and preferences. Sensitive personal information, such as your account credentials and race or ethnicity. Other information about you that is linked to the personal information, such as your date of birth. Sources of information. We collect personal information from you and from the following categories of sources. Linked sites, our affiliates, our joint ventures, and promotional and strategic partners. Information suppliers, distributors and other vendors. Other users submitting information about you, such as to invite you to participate in an offering, make recommendations, or share content. And publicly available sources. Disclosure of information for business purposes. In the past 12 months, we may have disclosed for business purposes each of the categories of personal information listed above to the following categories of third parties. Our affiliates, service providers, social media platforms, advertising partners, analytics partners, and promotional partners. Sales or sharing of your information. California law defines the term sale very broadly. It includes the disclosure of personal information in exchange for anything of value. The term sharing is defined as disclosure of personal information for personalized advertising, which is based on a consumer's information obtained from the consumer's activity across non-affiliated websites. Applying these definitions, we may have sold or shared the following categories of personal information in the past 12 months. Online identifiers, demographic information, commercial and transactions information, internet or other electronic network activity information, coarse geolocation data, and inferences such as audience segmentation. In the past 12 months, we have sold or shared each of the categories of personal information listed above to our affiliates, linked at wbdprivacy.com/policycenter/affiliates/affiliates. Promotional partners, advertising partners, analytics partners, and social media platforms. Children. We do not share or sell with third parties who are not acting on our behalf the personal information of individuals we know to be children as defined by applicable law. Right to opt out of the sale or sharing of your information. If you are a California resident, you can tell us not to sell or share, as defined under California law, your personal information by visiting our data sell and share opt-out page, linked at wbdprivacy.com/do-not-sell-or-share-request, or clicking the Do Not Sell or Share My Personal Information link in the footers of our websites or settings menus of our apps. Our services also respond to global privacy control signals where appropriate. Right to know categories of information. If you are a California resident, you can ask to receive the categories of your personal information that we have collected, used, disclosed, sold, and shared. The categories of sources from which we have collected your personal information. Our purposes for collecting, selling, or sharing your personal information. The categories of personal information we have disclosed or sold. And the categories of third parties to whom we disclosed or sold your personal information. Sensitive personal information. We do not use or disclose sensitive personal information as defined under California law in any way that would require us to provide an opt-out opportunity under California law. Retention of information. We retain personal information we collect only for so long as reasonably needed to fulfill the purposes for which we collected it. We use reasonable business criteria to establish retention periods for personal information. For example, if you register on our services, we will store your personal information for as long as needed to maintain your account, fulfill your requests, enforce any applicable terms that govern your use of the services, maintain appropriate records of the above, or as otherwise required by law. Right to delete for users under 18. If you are a registered user of one of our services and you are under 18 years of age, you may have the right to request removal of content or personal information posted on our services. To request this removal, you may contact us at wbdprivacy@wbd.com or at Privacy Office, 230 Park Avenue South, New York, New York 10003. Please note that we cannot completely prevent further use or disclosure of that content or information by others once you have shared it in a publicly available forum. California Metrics. Please visit our CCPA metrics reporting page, linked at wbdprivacy.com/ccpa-metrics, for metrics for the previous calendar year of the number of access, correction, deletion, and sell, share, or targeted advertising opt-out requests we received, the number fulfilled in whole or in part, and the number denied, as well as the average number of days in which we substantively responded. Changes or revisions to this supplement. From time to time, we may update this U.S. state supplement. If there are material changes made to this state supplement, we will provide our users with additional notice. We encourage you to periodically check back and review this supplement so that you are up to date. How can you contact us? If you have any questions about this U.S. state supplement, you can contact us at wbdprivacy@wbd.com or 1-866-324-3637 or TTY. Use 711 or at Privacy Office, 230 Park Avenue South, New York, New York 10003. This has been a reading of the Max Privacy Policy U.S. State Supplement, last updated January 1, 2025. A link to the full text can be found in the video's description. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.